Hi, gorgeous, and welcome back to my second episode of Confidently Her, the podcast where we inspire confidence through femininity. Again, I'm Amelia, your podcast host, and hopefully one day your confidence coach as well. Diving in, I mentioned in my title hot takes, okay? And not that that was a lie, but it's really just one, and then I have a bunch of pop culture examples that I want to kind of prove this thought that I had. I end up getting this download that these F-boys, right, and these men, we know that they're feminine. Like, we know that it's a sassy man apocalypse. We've got that. But what we really don't realize is these men are living in their dark feminine energy. Now, if you know what that means, I just blew your mind. If you don't, if you don't know what it means, let's talk about it. So I want you to think of this guy that's you're stuck in limerence with, you've had this connection with, that keeps doing whatever it is that he's doing to you. Now I want to see if if this makes sense in your mind that this is him. Because these are the qualities of a dark feminine woman. Authentic, fearless, powerful, emotional intensity, lack of assertiveness, which I put a star next to that one because assertiveness is what we are seeking for in a real man. Him not making plans with you, him just viewing your story. You know what I mean? Like, he's not being assertive. Okay. Passionate, sensual, the unknown, which I thought was very interesting because, like, exactly. We never know what's going on with them, what they're doing. It's just unknown. Creation, depth of emotion. In a way, we don't off the bat say or admit to ourselves that they are deeply emotional because they, of course, like, hurt us and whatever, and we're just like, oh, they're like, they do have depth of emotion, right? Because they use that emotion to manipulate you. And that's the reason why you feel this connection with them, is because when you see them in person or whenever it is, you feel like you're the only girl in the world. You feel like there's something between you guys. They get you emotionally. And in essence, you're not the only girl he's doing that to, clearly, because he's not being assertive and not going after you. So he's being deeply emotional all the freaking time, right? If he's a player. Okay. Heightened intuition. Isn't it funny that the second that you move on, that F-boy calls you? That's their intuition because they're tapped into their dark feminine. Manipulative, mysterious, seductive, strong boundaries, which is 100% accurate. Like, if you do something that they don't like, they will just, like, not talk to you anymore, and they'll just ghost you. And then transformation, which I feel like is very in the gym. They're always doing something. They're always, like, coming back, like, and saying that they're going to change, and, like, transformation is something that they're constantly worried about. So, pop culture references. Who is the most dark feminine woman that you can think of? Because for me, what comes to mind is Marilyn Monroe. She had a husband, and she had what she needed, but her love in life was not the attention of one man. Does that make sense? The love of her life as a dark feminine woman is attention, period. Okay? And so if you are a dark feminine woman, you will be in love with multiple forms of attention in any way that you can get it. And I'm not saying that's good or bad, but these men don't realize that they're tapped into their dark feminine. So what happens if you are attracting a dark feminine man into your life? Okay, how does that affect you? So let's say I'm a light feminine woman. Instead of being calm and, you know, just wanting, like, the house and the home and just wanting to be creative and be sweet, I turn into masculine because there's a balance there. And a dark feminine, like, it's just a stronger energy. As your light feminine, you are going to accommodate and do what you need to do for the man, but the man is dark feminine. This creates that cat and mouse game. Now, let's say you are a strong dark feminine woman, okay? Let's say you are interested in a man like this and they're a F-boy. The F-boy will want nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. Because you are going to take away the attention from them. if attention is the love of a dark feminine like life, then if you are a bad bitch and you're in your dark feminine and you walk in with another, it's gonna create jealousy, it's gonna create animosity, and it's going to create a competition. And so what that man is going to do, if you're in your dark feminine, is bring you to that level, put you in competition, put it so in your face that they can find somebody else, because again, it's just a game, unfortunately. And was it not a game for Marilyn Monroe? Like, you have to think about it in this way. It's the only way that makes sense. Okay, now I want to chat for a moment about Sex and the City, which is like my main pop culture reference. Those 4 women, Carrie, Charlotte, Miranda, and Samantha. Those women, every woman in the world, we can relate to one of them. Samantha is a dark feminine woman. Obviously, she's kind of like Marilyn Monroe. Now, who is the F-boy in Sex and the City? Mr. Big. Okay? So, if you go to season 1, I want to say episode 2, there's a scene where Samantha goes up to him, and Samantha turns it on, you know what I mean? She, like, grabs his cigar from him all seductively. She, like, takes a hit. She, like, blows it back in his face, like, all seductive. He's like, yeah, I'm good. Like, get the fuck away from me, basically. And you can see it in real time in this episode that I'm referring to. It's crazy. I don't think Mr. Big was inherently a dark feminine, like, energy. I think that he had so many relationships in his life that at this point he was just ready to be free and wanted to just enjoy the attention of many women. And so he knows that a dark feminine woman could break him. Okay. Are y'all following me? Are y'all tapping in? Because I swear I'm onto something. A perfect example of a woman in her masculine energy is Miranda. Okay? So Miranda ends up attracting Steve. Steve is clearly in his light feminine energy, which is perfectly fine. You know what I mean? But he can step up and be a man in your light feminine. There's no, he can do that. And it works for them. And Miranda operates in her masculine energy because that's where she feels the most comfortable. There is no right or wrong in any of this, but it's just navigating what's going on and, being truthful. Charlotte, clearly light feminine. Obviously light feminine. Her and Samantha, there's always like a rift between them. A light feminine woman and a dark feminine woman are going to be jealous of each other inadvertently, subconsciously. So you can see that energy dynamic right there. That's what's going to happen, right, in these relationships where you're attracting these dark feminine men. So Charlotte stayed true to herself. She was a light feminine woman. She carried that, and she, rode it through all the way, and she gravitated a masculine man. You know what I mean? And you know who also attracted a masculine man? Samantha. Just because, you know what I mean? It's all dependent on what you want and who you're going to be to then get the man that you want to get. Now, this brings me to the biggest hot take of them all. Okay, are y'all buckled in right now? Carrie is operating her masculine energy. Now, a lot of us women do not want to admit that we are Carrie. No, but you know what I mean? It's fun to romanticize these Mr. Bigs of our life, if you will. But ultimately, Carrie never admits the reason why she's so infatuated with Mr. Big. You want to know why it is? It's her work, right? Because she writes columns. So her columns are going to be better with Mr. Big. Her books are going to be more successful if she ends up with Mr. Big. Her story is not complete without Mr. Big because it has to be grandiose. It has to make sense for her career. Now, instead of anybody ever, saying anything about that or realizing that, or there's nothing wrong with that. That is why when Carrie meets Aiden, who is the most masculine man in the TV series, and Carrie is such an idiot for losing him, the reason why she never saw him in that way is because two masculine men are going to argue. It's not going to work. But instead of her seeing herself, right? Okay. Miranda operates in masculine energy and owns it. And is like, you know what? This is me. This is what makes me feel good. I see it. I love it. It's who I am. I'm okay to have a feminine man in my life. That's going to still satisfy me because I've got to be who I am. Carrie is operating in masculine energy, but doesn't see that in herself. She thinks that she's operating in feminine energy. So what she's constantly doing is going back on her word, is making mistakes, is not understanding how damaging this dynamic is. What's interesting is there's so many girls out there that are kind of like talking crap about Carrie, which I'm not saying Carrie's a good or bad person. But what I'm saying is it is ultimately, it is so important to understand who you are, what kind of energy you're operating in. I explained Sex and the City, my hot takes on that, Vampire Diaries. Catherine was, of course, dark feminine energy, and I feel like Elena was light feminine energy. Now, what happens when Catherine was with Damon? Okay. Catherine, in my opinion, turned Damon to be in his dark feminine energy. I feel like he was a masculine man, and then he turned because he saw how she was acting and was scorned and was hurt, and so just traded that all in to be like, just get attention from everybody and not feel anything. Okay, I digress. So Elena is light feminine energy. Point is Elena was so true to herself and her light feminine energy that it broke Damon's trance of being in his dark feminine. Now, this is very, very important, and the whole entire reason why I'm making this video. You have got to be firm in who you are. It does not matter whatever this F-boy is doing. If he wants to play the cat and mouse game, he can play it by himself. Staying true to yourself will break the man, and it's got to. And it's got to. You going around and chasing this man and being the first to watch his stories now and like calling whenever you're drunk and like being so available. Energy is so strong, okay? The only way that you will ever be able to, we are going to have to break these sassy men, okay? And so these why men love bitches and the sprinkle of it all, it's all just fake. It's not real. What you've got to do is I want you to look up dark and light feminine energy, and I need you to lock in who is it that you are and stick with it. And if you appreciate dark and light feminine, I feel like that's me. I feel comfortable being both, and that's what makes me feel good. And I also am okay with having a man that's not just in his masculine all the time. I'm okay with a man that is, can go back and forth with me. But some women aren't. They want a man, like, they will do everything that is, like, in the light feminine world, and they want a man that's going to take over and do everything, and they don't want to work at all, and that's completely, and be it as it may, any type of situation you wanted to put it in, understand that you, my love, you are the key to the sassy man apocalypse, okay? We are never going to get men to change. They are so, like, locked in, and they don't think women, frankly, are smart enough to figure them out. They have no idea that they're in dark feminine energy. Now, this is the biggest part of it all. What got me together and what made me wake up from my limerence that I was under is simply thinking of he and I both fighting to be Marilyn Monroe. And that, to me, maybe it's just because I'm a fan of Marilyn Monroe. I love her. I admire her. That got me together. Because I promise you, sir, you can be as handsome as you want to be. If me and you walked into a room, I'm Marilyn Monroe. I don't give a fuck who you think you are. I don't care how handsome you are. I don't care. I'm beautiful on the inside and out. I know who I am. And I'm the one that captures the room. I'm the one that has the attention. Like, these men are for real out here in competition like that. And in jealousy and all this stuff. And it could be conscious or subconscious. Who knows? But the bottom line is that simple. Again, minds have changed. Mind shift change. Yeah. That got me together real quick. Because no, you're not going to be, no. I'm the princess here, babe. I'm the feminine. I'm the woman. I'm the Marilyn Monroe. Like, you, sir, can go build me a fucking house. Like, I don't need this. I really don't. Take him off. Put yourself on. Embrace your femininity. Embrace your, or if it's not, whatever it is, embrace who you are and understand who you're attracting. If you're a masculine woman, you could have a dark feminine man and be happy. But understand, you're making that sacrifice. You're making that choice. And it's not his fault. Because us as women, it is our responsibility to be true in ourselves in order to wake the men up. We can't sit here and they do not understand. They don't have a depth. They don't have that depth that us women have. And we can't sit back and be upset and be irritated that these men are not, like, they're getting away with it. We're letting them get away with it. You're letting them get away with it by the way that you act and the way that you handle situations. With this man, you've got to it's not a goodbye. It's a, I'm focusing on me. I don't give a shit what you got going on. You've got to lock in. You've got to get a hobby, girl. You've got to get, like, a good TV show, a good book, get a good routine going. Fill your day up. I know it's not easy, girl. I've been there. Trust me, I've been there. It's not about letting go of that person. It's now, in this nuanced age, about waking them up to themselves. You are not going to be in competition. You're not going to stoop down to their level. You're not going to do any of these things. You're going to stay true to yourself. That's what I'm hoping you will do. And this is the key to the Sassy Man Apocalypse. With all that being said, thank you all so much for watching this video. Please let me know your thoughts down below. Did I crack the code? What are your thoughts? What are you thinking? If you have any examples, it'd be great for us to all kind of share. But yeah, I know that was kind of crazy, but thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, loves.